Geothermal energy has a lower average cost per kilowatt-hour than the use of fossil fuels. The average cost can range from 5 to 8 cents per kilowatt-hour, while using fossil fuels can be almost triple that amount.
The average kilowatt-hour may be cheaper for geothermal energy, but the initial costs of setting up a geothermal plant is almost triple the amount of setting up a plant that uses fossil fuels for energy. Therefore, it would take longer to pay off the initial costs of the plant using geothermal energy. Besides being costly, the plants are so vast that locating a large enough piece of land where geothermal energy can actually be tapped into is a very rare occurrence.
Even though it is at first hard to discover an area suitable for geothermal energy to work, once discovered, the chances of finding other suitable areas around the first plant increases by 80%, making it easier to build more than one plant on the site.
Who would want to build energy plants by volcanoes? Besides, the land must be explored by land researchers, and this could take several years.
Even though it may take several years for land to be found that could actually work, the payoff in the end outweighs the wait. Geothermal energy plants can operate 98% of the time compared to energy plants using fossil fuels that usually only run 75% of the time.
It may be more reliable, but what happens when the well stops producing steam randomly? When this occurs, it could possibly last for up to 10 years. What are we supposed to do in the meantime?
Well, obviously, Julie, we would live by candlelight. At least the world would have cleaner air if geothermal energy were used more often.
Sometimes harmful gases can be released from the holes drilled during construction. Therefore, the plants must be able to hold any leaked gases and dispose of them safely.
There will always be some gases released from the drilling, but the emissions from a geothermal energy plant are considerably cleaner than emissions from a fossil fuel plant. For instance, a geothermal plant only releases approximately 60 pounds of carbon dioxide per kilowatt-hour, while fossil fuels release approximately 2,000 pounds per kilowatt-hour of this harmful greenhouse gas. The emissions for sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide are considerably lower as well. Sulfur dioxide emissions from a geothermal plant measure 0.35 pounds per kilowatt-hour compared to a range between 4 and 10 pounds from the fossil fuel plant. Nitrogen oxide emissions are non-existent from a geothermal plant, while from a fossil fuel plant measure about 3 pounds. This alone makes using geothermal energy worth the startup costs.